Grease isn't just a movie, it's a phenomenon. But beneath the slicked hair, catchy tunes, and high school nostalgia, there's a treasure trove of strange, surprising, and downright eerie facts you've probably never heard. From real injuries to sewn-on pants and the ghost of Elvis himself. What happened behind the scenes will blow your mind. Let's start with how Grease came to be, because, believe it or not, it all began with a love for music. But it was not the kind you'd expect. The creators of the Grease stage musical, Jim Jacobs and Warren Casey, were listening to Led Zeppelin when they got the idea. The result? A tribute to 1950s high school culture, drenched in the sound of doo-wop and teenage dreams. But this wasn't just about nostalgia. They were channeling the spirit of an era that had already passed by the time the 1970s rolled around, fusing rock and roll with Broadway energy. That blend created a stage show that would eventually explode into the iconic 1978 film we all know. Now imagine this. Henry Winkler, known to the world as the Fonz from Happy Days, was offered the role of Danny Zuko. It would have been a perfect fit, right? Wrong. Winkler turned it down flat. Why? Because he didn't want to be typecast. He felt he'd already nailed the cool guy persona on television, and doing it again on the big screen might forever trap him in that image. Ironically, the role went to John Travolta, and history was made. Winkler later admitted that it was the right call. Travolta brought a charm and energy that truly defined Zuko. But it's one of those fascinating Hollywood what-ifs that makes you wonder how different Grease could have been. But the eerie factor doesn't stop there. Let's talk about Elvis Presley. The king of rock and roll had a strange, spectral connection to Grease. Initially, producers wanted Elvis to play the role of Teen Angel, the mysterious figure who sings Beauty School Dropout. It would have been a legendary cameo, especially given Elvis's cultural connection to the 1950s. Unfortunately, he didn't take the part. But here's the twist. The scene where Frankie Avalon plays Teen Angel includes a line referencing Elvis, and it was filmed on August 16, 1977. That's the very day Elvis died. The cast and crew were unaware of the tragic timing as they filmed the sequence, but when they found out, the coincidence sent a chill down everyone's spine. It's one of those facts that's almost too surreal to believe. Meanwhile, family ties were at play behind the scenes. John Travolta wasn't just acting, he was helping family too. His real-life sister, Ellen Travolta, appears in the film. How? John invited her on set and she played a waitress during the dance contest scene. It's a blink and you'll miss it moment. But a nice bit of trivia that highlights how the film was, in many ways, a family affair for the cast. But for some actors, Grease took a physical toll. Jeff Conaway, who played the role of Kenickie, got badly hurt while filming Grease. During the choreography, he sustained a back injury that would haunt him for years. Unfortunately, the pain became chronic, and he turned to prescription medication for relief. Over time, this dependency grew worse, and it contributed to a long-term addiction that tragically ended his life in 2011. It's a sobering reminder that even in high-energy musicals, the toll on actors can be real and lasting. You might think Sandy, Olivia Newton-John's sweet and proper character, was always meant to be the Australian girl next door. But that wasn't the original plan. In the early versions of the musical, Sandy was named Sandy Dombrowski and was written as a Polish-American girl from Chicago. But when Olivia Newton-John was cast, the filmmakers changed her background and her last name to Sandy Olsen, making her an Australian transfer student. Why? Because Olivia's natural Australian accent would have been hard to hide, the change worked better for the character's outsider image. The rewrite made the character more believable and added an international twist to the story's dynamic. One thing that always stands out when watching Grease is how polished and adult the characters look. Most cast members were far too old to play high school students. Stockard Channing, who played Rizzo, was 33 years old during filming. Many of her co-stars were in their late 20s. The director, Randall Kleiser, was aware of this issue, so he devised a strategy known as the crow's feet test. They passed if actors smiled and didn't show too many crow's feet around their eyes. It was a weird visual way of determining who could still pass for a teen on camera. The result? A high school full of mature-looking students, but somehow it worked. Speaking of Randall Kleiser, he didn't leave the set unscathed either. While filming the Thunder Road race scene, where Danny and Leo compete in the LA River Canal, Kleiser spent so much time in the murky water that he contracted a foot infection. The LA River, notorious for its pollution, was far from sanitary, but Kleiser was determined to get the right shots, even if it meant wading through questionable water. The infection wasn't life-threatening, but it was just another example of the physical risks that went into making this seemingly light-hearted musical. Loving these behind-the-scenes twists? There's more coming, so if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to keep cruising with us through Hollywood's hidden history. Now back to the weirdness. Let's talk about the prom scene. It's one of the most memorable parts of the movie. It is vibrant, chaotic, and full of energy, but filming it was a nightmare. The gym where it was shot had no air conditioning, and filming occurred during the summer heat. Inside, temperatures reached a brutal 116 degrees Fahrenheit. The heat was so intense that several extras fainted during the shoot. Cast and crew were sweating buckets, makeup was melting, and keeping the energy up for multiple takes was exhausting. Still, the final product looks effortless, even though it was filmed in unbearable conditions. And finally, one of the strangest wardrobe malfunctions turned into a true story of commitment. Remember Sandy's unforgettable black outfit in the final scene, which marked her transformation? Her pants had a broken zipper, and there was no time to fix it. So what did the costume department do? They sewed Olivia Newton-John into the pants. She couldn't take bathroom breaks or drink much water for the entire day. That sexy, tight black look came at the cost of comfort and mobility, but it became one of movie history's most iconic costume moments. The dedication to the look paid off, though Olivia later admitted it was one of the most uncomfortable filming days she ever had. As a quirky extra, here's one last fact that adds another layer of realism to the film. Jeff Conaway and Stockard Channing, who played Kenickie and Rizzo, wanted their on-screen chemistry to feel authentic. So to make their romance seem real, Conaway gave Channing actual hickeys before their scenes. That's right, those weren't movie makeup effects. They were the real deal. It's a bizarre method, sure, but it worked on screen. Their characters' fiery, complicated relationship had just the right amount of realism, and now you know one of the strangest reasons why. And here's another layer to the Grease legacy that many fans overlook. How much of the film's success hinged on improvisation and last-minute changes. Many scenes were reworked on the spot, and the actors had to roll with it. Take the legendary "You're the One That I Want" number. It wasn't even part of the original stage musical. It was written specifically for the film and rushed into production after Olivia Newton-John's transformation idea came to life. The moment was electric, both on screen and off. Travolta and Newton-John's chemistry was so strong that the scene barely needed rehearsal. That same spontaneity shaped other parts of the film, such as the carnival finale, which was shot in just one day with minimal choreography. The cast danced on real rides with real danger. There were no safety harnesses, no second takes. That kind of raw, energetic risk-taking is part of what makes Grease not just entertaining, but unforgettable. So there you have it. Grease might look like pure 1950s fun on the surface, but behind the scenes, it was full of strange twists, eerie coincidences, real pain, family cameos, and a lot of sweat and stitches. The movie you've watched a dozen times got much weirder. Which of these facts surprised you the most? Or do you have your weird Grease trivia to share? Drop it in the comments, we'd love to hear your take. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most iconic musicals of all time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. See you on the flip side, Greasers.